Hello, everybody. We are live today because I wanted just to talk about past life regressions, and you can ask me anything. So, if you have a question about past life regression, just drop it into the comments and I will respond to them. But for now, just to get this live started, I will start with questions that I generated with AI, like the most frequently asked questions about past life regressions. So, maybe your question is also in there. Who am I to speak about past life regressions? My name is Jenny. I'm a spiritual hypnotherapist and breathwork facilitator, and I love helping people manifest a life that they dream about, whether it's their dream partner, their dream home, or their dream career or job. And so let's get started. Let's get into the first question about past lives, which is, what is a past life regression and how does it work? So past life regressions are a hypnosis, which is simply a relaxation, right? A deep, deep relaxation. That's what a hypnosis is, with a meditation or whatever. So when you do a hypnosis, then you can take people not only, this life, this current life, root causes of this current life, but you can also take people into past life situations, past life moments, so that they can heal their current life issue, or that they can resolve some trauma, or whatever it is that they're coming for the past life regression is for. And right, so a past life regression works simply by me as a hypnotherapist. Need to see you. I don't even need to, touch you or whatever. Like, I can literally do this over Zoom, over the phone. I don't even have to see you. It's beneficial to see you sometimes, but I don't necessarily have to do that. And then I put you into a deep relaxation. I relax your body, I relax your mind, and then I take you to the soul space, which is the space where you can really feel and hear and listen to what your soul has to say. And that space is really, really beautiful. That space is one of the most powerful spaces you can be in, and you can best access that when you're fully relaxed and when your conscious mind has turned off all its analyzing, criticizing, thinking, and judging. And then I guide you into a past life. And usually what we do is, when we do a past life regression, we take you to the first scene that comes up in your past life. And most of the time it's a scene where nothing happens, because your soul is like, let me ease you into this. Let me not show you the most important and the most significant scene of this past life right now, but let me ease you into this. So usually what we start with is looking at whatever it is that you have at your feet. Then we go up and we look at whatever you're wearing, what gender you are, we look at what your hair color is, and then we maybe go into your name or your age, or where you are, like if you're able to tell what country you're in, if you're able to tell what decade you're in, if you're able to tell what time you're in. Like, we go into all of these things, and then we look around, then we see, okay, like, are you in a city? What is happening around you? Are there people with you? How are you feeling? How are you reacting to certain things? These are all the things that we look into. And like I said, usually it's just a scene where this gets us started, and this gets you to believe that you can actually do this, because most of you guys will have never done this before. And that's why we start with a very simple and easy scene. And then I guide you to the next most significant scene in that past life of yours, where shit's going down, like something is happening. Usually either somebody's doing something with you or to you, or you're going somewhere, or you're finding out about something, or maybe you're birthing a child, or maybe you're seeing the soulmate that you came for in this past life regression as well, to see and to like really experience them and explore your relationship with them. And then explore this most significant, you moving into the scene of death. And the scene of death, this sounds really like, whoo, oh my God. It actually isn't. In that life, it is for you to really experience and look back at the life that you've had, like the past life that you. This is why the scene of death is important. And then, and sometimes also the death is important, because when you see the death and when you see how you died, it usually had an impact on your current life as well. And there was a reason of why you saw that scene of death. For example, as spiritual entrepreneurs, right, we often have fears of visibility and fears of being seen, and fears of, showing up confidently and sharing our gifts. And usually that is because we as spiritual entrepreneurs have been a witch or a healer in our past life, and we just, we weren't able to share what we're sharing, and it wasn't safe for us to share what we want to share. If you've been a witch, if you've been a healer in a past life, then you usually either you had to hide somewhere, or you've been burned at the stake, or people were killing you or chasing you because you did something that they didn't want you to do. Like, people didn't want you to help people before. They wanted to keep people under their control. And so this is why the scene of death is very important as well. Then we go up from the scene of death, we go up back to the soul space again. And in the soul space, then I can ask you questions such as, why did you see this life? Why did you see this past life? Why did it matter that you saw this past life today? How does this past life relate to your present life, to your current life? How does this past life impact you today? Which lessons have you learned in that past life that you need to not learn anymore in this life because you've learned them already in a past life? And we can also get into your soul's purpose. We can get into why your soul chose your parents. We can get into why your soul chose to be your parents' child, and what you're teaching each other. So you can do a whole lot in the soul space as well as with past lives. And then if you are still, if you're still accepting and able to go into another past life, this is what we're going to do next. So we can always explore another past life because it may help you with your current life issue. And then we go back into the soul space, do the same process. And then we just bring you back out of relaxation. We bring you back up, and you will remember everything that has happened, and you will feel good. And most of the time we have resolved the issue that you have in this life, or way closer to the root cause and everything. This question is past life regression a legitimate therapeutic technique? And I want to say that my background is not in psychology, is not in therapy, but my background is simply in everything, like all spiritual modalities, NLP, EFT, hypnosis, breathwork, and so on and so forth. So I cannot say I'm using it for therapy because I'm not accredited to do therapy. But what I can say is that every single book that I've read by a person who has began to do past life regression, they were a psychiatrist, they were a psychologist, and they have done hypnosis with their clients, and then they have discovered past lives. And two of these people are Dr. Michael Newton and Dr. Brian Weiss. They have written many, many books. Dr. Michael Newton has written Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. Dr. Brian Weiss has written also about the Ascended Masters. He has written about soulmates. He has written about twin flames. He has written about all kinds of things that are past life related. So if you're interested in anything past life, really look up these two people. Like I said, they are trained psychiatrists and psychologists. And yes, they are totally using it for a therapeutic approach. What I also want to say is that I have helped people that have been to therapy for like 10 years or 12 years, and they have told me that they didn't do in therapy what I did with them within 6 months. So hypnosis is very, very, very extremely successful. It has an actually 93% success rate compared to a 72% success rate with behavioral therapy. Why is hypnosis and past life regression so successful? Because we get down to the root cause very, very easily. And if you are in talk therapy, when you talk to your therapist, your conscious mind will always be there with you. You're thinking, analyzing, criticizing, judging with your conscious mind at all times with your therapist. While when you're in hypnosis, when you're in a relaxed state of mind, shut off all that stuff. You shut off the criticizing, thinking, judging, all of these things. You shut them off. You're in relaxation, and you can get as deep as you probably may have never even gotten before. And you can access your soul, you can access why you came here, and you can access a whole different consciousness, which is not only your subconscious mind, but also your superconscious mind. So that is why I'm a total fan of past life regression and hypnosis in general. But let's get to the next question. Can past life regression be used to heal trauma or emotional issues? And I can say absolutely yes. Again, I'm not a person who's like officially and accredited trauma informed, but I am informed because I have my own trauma. I'm informed because I have helped many clients to get through their trauma, and I'm informed because I'm reading a whole bunch on trauma. So I'm still equipped to talk about this. So hypnosis, and especially past life regression, can help with emotional trauma and trauma in general, because oftentimes, and when you're speaking with someone and when you're like asking for the root cause of your anxiety, depression, or whatever it is that you have going on in your life, like your toxic relationships, your financial problems, whenever you ask for the root cause of this, in hypnosis, you will get down to it. Because again, when you're not in hypnosis, when you're not relaxed, your mind still keeps thinking, analyzing, criticizing, and judging. And the root cause may be something that you're not thinking about. That it may be something that has happened in your childhood that you never thought would influence until this day. Or it may be something that has happened in one of your past lives that you never thought would influence you until this day, which is crazy. And that's why I'm such a big fan of past life regressions. I have helped many people help with sexual abuse trauma, with emotional trauma, with childhood trauma. There's literally been a client of mine, she has let go of 50 years of trauma that was in her body. By the way, trauma is stuck in your body, right? Just read Your Body Keeps a Score by Bessel van der Kolk, and you will get a whole explanation of that. So your trauma is stuck in your body. And this person that I've helped, she was saying that for 50 years she has felt tense, she has felt something in her body that just she couldn't get rid of, no matter how much therapy she tried, no matter what else she tried. It was just stuck in her body. And we did only one session. And after that single session, she was able to release that. And that was because with hypnosis, you can, you can not only release something that is mental, but also physical things. Because we as hypnotherapists, we are also equipped to help you release emotions out of your body, to take them out with your hands or to breathe them out. And then you will really feel how the trauma, how you're literally pulling out or breathing out the trauma. And this is something really beautiful and powerful. So yes, past life regressions can absolutely help with emotional issues or trauma. The next question is, how can I tell if a past life regression is legitimate or not? So what I would say is that you can tell a lot by you watching them before you interact with them. Online, like for me, everyone finds me online, and people who find me online, they're like, oh, I've watched you before, like I know, I know things about you, and I completely trust you because I know, like I've seen your energy, I've seen how you approach content, how you approach videos and all of the things, right? So a legitimate person is a person you can trust, who has your highest good in mind. That means that what they have in mind is not to keep you in their praxis, or in their practice, or in therapy for years and years. A legitimate person says, okay, let's tackle your problem, and I'll give you all of the tools and resources and everything that I know about. I give you all of that. I'm not holding back. I'm not gatekeeping anything. That's a legitimate person for you. If they're not gatekeeping anything, if they're not holding back with anything, with any knowledge that they have, that's a legitimate person that you can go to. And there is also websites, like for example, Brian Weiss, you can go through a Life Between Lives training on his website, and he has people listed that have gone through his training. There is the Past Life Regression Institute that have also people listed, but you can also find people like me who do their thing on social media. And if you trust me, if you think I'm legit, if you get the vibe from my content, from my videos, and if you trust yourself that you're ready for a past life regression, that you're ready to dive into this, then this is legit. You need to make your own decision. You need to have discernment, and you need to trust the person that you're working through this with, because when a person is not experienced, like take an experienced person as well, like, because if a person is not experienced with past life regression or past lives or spirituality in general, they can call in entities or spirits or your ancestors that are not your greater good in mind, right? And so really watch somebody for a while and get their vibe, or get a recommendation from a friend. And if you have a question, just let me know. I see a couple of you watching, so if you have a question on past lives, let me know. You can ask me anything. The question is it possible to access of a therapist or hypnotherapist? And yes, absolutely. You can access past lives in meditation. You can access past lives in dreams. You can access past lives literally whenever you want to. But your mind has to be in a relaxed state of mind. So for example, sometimes also you have what's called deja vu. You see a scene that has happened, that you feel like has happened before, right? Or you meet a person that you feel like you've met before. And if that happens, then this can also be your soul showing you, hey, get into this, meditate on this. There is a past life behind all of this, right? So what I can recommend, if you want to do this on your own, if you don't want to do it with the help of a hypnotherapist or therapist, what you can do is you can ask, before you get into your meditation, you can set an intention of, dear God, source, universe, angels, ancestors, whatever you believe in, please show me a scene of a past life that I need to learn from today. Or simply show me a scene of a past life, show me a scene of a past life that is gentle. So we get into this, not right into, where you were killed or where you've killed somebody or whatever. This is, we don't want you to see that at the very first thing, right? So this is what you can do with meditation. You can also do a YouTube meditation or hypnosis. You can just type into YouTube past life regression hypnosis, or life between lives hypnosis, or past life regression or past life meditation. All of those things, they're all available on YouTube. Just know that if you do that, you are on your own when you have to handle something that you weren't prepared for. So that's why intention setting is very, 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 set the intention of really saying to yourself, I want to see a past life in which I was wealthy, or in which I was happy, or in which or which was a great past life. Set the intention, ease yourself in, don't go fully into that you may have been in a past life. But even if you do that, just know that it would be very, very beneficial to guide who can help you after, and who can maybe give you journaling questions, who can give you guidance after. Very, very important. But if you are spiritually experienced, if you have been on a couple trips or whatever it is, if you're experienced, and if you have the faith in yourself, by all means, go ahead, do this on YouTube, and then you will not need anyone either. So the next question would be, can past life regression be used to improve relationships or career success? Absolutely, yes. Let's get into the first one. Can past life regression be used to get to improve relationships? And I can say absolutely yes, because let's say you have a very, very toxic relationship with somebody. It doesn't even need to be your partner. It can be your parent, can be your sibling, can be your friend, whatever. Let's say you have a very, very toxic relationship with them. Chances are that you are karmic partners who are meant to learn something from each other. Chances are that you may be twin flames. Chances are that this is a past life thing that is coming through here. So when you ask for a past, or when you ask to see a past life with that person that you have a toxic relationship with, when you ask for that, and then the past life is showing you, let's take myself for example. I had a twin flame relationship. I knew that this person was my twin flame because I manifested him. I was like, I want to meet my twin flame. I want to meet my twin flame. And 2 weeks later, I literally manifested him. Oops. And this guy, like, I so wanted to see if we had a past life together. So I was doing this on YouTube by myself. I was doing a YouTube regression. That was, I think, before I was trained in past life regression. Yeah. So I went on YouTube. I asked YouTube, and I set the intention, show me a past life with my twin flame, and it didn't disappoint because I saw myself. I saw both of us together in southern Africa, in a land where there were Zulus, because I had the name Zola, and I looked up Zola, and Zola is a Zulu name, and I was in like the Zulu huts, would have like they have a normal there, and I saw him with me, and we were like, in nature, and we were just hopping around, and we were having fun, and eventually he passed away. And I was asking him, before he passed, I was asking him, what am I meant to do here on earth by myself now that you're gone? And he was like, you're meant to show people how to love, and you're meant to show people that a love like ours exists. I still remember that, and it fits very well with my soul's purpose that I also discovered in a life between lives regression that I also did on YouTube before I got into all this stuff and before I learned it myself. My soul's purpose is to learn and teach how to love. So it all fit into this, right? But also, if you have like I said in the beginning, a toxic relationship with somebody, you can go into a past life and you can see, maybe now in this life, in your current life, you're the mother and you have a daughter that really gets on your nerves. But in the past life, you were the daughter that got on your mother's nerves. So a lot of times this is karma, right? You can meet somebody who is your partner in this life, and in your past life, they have been the person who've broken your heart the most. And that's why you are afraid in this life that they're going to leave you. There's tons of possibilities, and Brian Weiss really gets into all that stuff, like into relationships and into past life relationships. And when you have a toxic relationship, and when you find out the root cause of why the toxicity is there, and the root cause is in a past life, your relationship will be better, because also you're not only seeing the past life yourself, but you're also doing something for the other soul that is that is in the toxic relationship with you. Like, their soul now knows what the root cause is, and that you have explored that root cause, and that the root cause was in a past life. Their soul knows now. And usually this is when relationships get better, and you can talk to this person about what you have experienced, and then you can really get into mending the relationship, and seeing like, oh, maybe the toxicity only comes from a past life, which is very often the case. Or it comes from, this person being my karmic partner. And while we're in the past life regression, we can also, I did this once for a group of people. I did this once for a mother and a daughter, and they were having a past life together with a person, with a man, that they both had a really, really toxic relationship in this life. So I took them to their past life, and they were discovering why they had this toxic relationship with the man in their current life. It was crazy. It was really, really good. I cannot go into more details because otherwise I would be breaching the privacy. But it was insane, and what they found out. So it's really, really great, and it's so fascinating for me. Okay, let's get into can past life regression be used to improve your career as well? And yes, absolutely. In your career, you will be most likely at a point, where you want to ask for a raise, or maybe you want to switch jobs, or maybe you want to quit your job and you want to do this. And for all of the things, you need confidence, and you need boundaries, and you need, whatever But if, let's say, you want to ask for a raise, or if you want to quit your job and you need confidence, you go back to the root cause of why you don't have this confidence yet. Why don't you feel safe yet to just take the next step in your career, in your job, in your business? Why are you not ready or equipped, or why don't you feel safe with that next step? That root cause may be, well, in a past life. So it could be, like I said before, for our spiritual people, is most likely we've been witches and healers in the past and we didn't feel safe to share our truth in the past. That is very, very common with spiritual businesses. With other people, it may be, that they did not trust somebody in a past life, and now this person, they've come across them in their career or in their job, and now they don't trust them. And so there's a lot of possibilities there's a lot of ways on how a past life regression can influence your career in this life. And it is also, like I said, it's very fascinating, and most of the time the root cause that you're discovering you never will have thought about. And the more you do past life regressions, the more you will get to know yourself, and the deeper you will get to know yourself. And when you actually do that, the easier it is for you to find out what, and the easier it is for you to do to go after what you want. Because when you're clear, very, very clear on what you want, like I said, the more you do the past life regression thing, the more you speak to your soul, the easier it is for you to follow your dreams, to know your dreams, and to just go after them. Because you really know yourself really well the more often you speak with your soul. And that's why I love it so much too. Cannot say enough good things about it. Okay, let's get to the next question. What are some common experiences people have during a past life regression session? So a lot of people find themselves being afraid of animals in this current life. So I've had a person being afraid of horses and dogs in this current life, but she didn't know really why. Come to find out, she died falling from a horse because a dog had gone in between the horse's legs in her past life. So now, here we go, the fear was very, very clear. Another person was eaten by birds, like her corpse was eaten by birds. Sorry to be so specific, but that was the case, and that's why she was afraid of birds in this life. And a lot of people go through lives, or just lives where they have been very, very alone. And then they find that in this life, it's very, very important to not be alone, to be in community, to be vocal about their needs with people, and just so that they have better relationships. Again, the spiritual people, they go through their visibility blocks, being a healer, witch in the past life, where they're being burned at the stake. I had a woman who was having trouble finding love. She actually was killed in a past life by a man. She was drowned, and she drowned. And she then said, no wonder I cannot trust men. Because if a guy has killed me in a past life, how can I trust men in this life? So very, very powerful. Then later, that was a crazy experience. Later, this guy that had killed her in the past life, his soul came to me and he told me to tell her to apologize to her. And I told her, and she was like, wow, Jenny, this is so valuable for me, because no man ever apologized to me for what they did to me. And she was in very, very toxic relationships. So, the power of past life regressions. And a lot of people also experience being with their soul for the first time. And the soul I always call the light of love and peace and wisdom. And when you, for the very first time, are one with that light, when you're one with wisdom, it's literally the whole entire world. Because you feel one with everything. Like the saying, all is one and one is all, comes literally from that feeling that you will receive. There's a very, very common thing that people get to experience in a past life regression as well. And we always meet their ancestors, and we hang out with them and we see what they have to say and what they have to tell the person. And it's very, very beautiful as well. Then let's say that the next question is it possible to experience negative or traumatic memories during a past life regression? Absolutely. You may see how you're being killed, or how you kill another person. You may see how you have an accident. You will see your scene of death. And it's funny because as humans, we say this is a negative thing, or we say that this is a traumatic thing. So we humans attribute meaning to these past life experiences. However, if you can move away from saying that this is a negative or traumatic thing, but only you can say this just is. It was, and it is just an experience, and there is no meaning to it other than it being a lesson, right? So let's say you see how somebody has killed you. A lot of times you would think this to be something very traumatic, something very negative. However, that's when a very experienced hypnotherapist comes in, because they need to hold space for you while you're seeing what has happened to you, how you've been killed, or how you died, or whatever, right? So you, with that hypnotherapist together, before they take you out of hypnosis, they have to make sure to ask you, why did you see this scene? Why was this scene important? What did you learn from that? That is so important, because that will bring you closure, and then you will not see this past life memory as something negative or something bad or traumatic or whatever. Then you will see this simply as a lesson for this life. And your soul will know. Your soul knows that you that this happened for a reason, and that this happened for a lesson. And that's why I say there is in general also no negative or traumatic things, because also your subconscious mind always wants to bring you happiness. It wants to see you thrive. It wants to see you well. Your subconscious mind wants the best for you. And because it wants the best for you, there's nothing that you will ever see in hypnosis or in a past life regression that you cannot deal with, that you cannot handle, and that will be traumatic for you. Because if you have if you have an experienced hypnotherapist, they know exactly how to deal with these experiences of yours, and they will know exactly how to make you, how to bring you out of that, and how to really get you back into a very neutral space where you won't think of something as traumatic or negative. So that's why there's nothing negative or traumatic when you're working with an experienced past life regressionist, because everything will just be seen as a lesson. Okay, let's see. The next question is, can past life regression be used to explore spiritual or metaphysical concepts? I'm laughing at this because literally everything about past life regression is spiritual and metaphysical. So you can literally be in a different dimension. You can speak to aliens. You can speak to the ascended masters. You can speak to your spirit guides, to the angels. You can go onto different planets. You can have past lives in a different planets. You can realize that all the timelines are existing all at once, and time is just a human concept, and all of these things. Like, you can literally explore any spiritual concept that you want, and any metaphysical concept that you want with past life regression. Like, there's literally no limits. If your past life regressionist knows about it, you can do it. What I love to do with my clients is experiencing channeling, is experiencing conversations with their soul, is experiencing going to the room where you were. Like, as humans, we imagine this as a room, right? The room where you were before your soul chooses the body that you're about to go into, because your soul has choices. Your soul chooses the body. And that is also super fascinating, and I love doing that with my clients. So absolutely, like, whatever you want to explore spiritually, metaphysically, anything is possible with past life regression or with hypnosis as well. So, are there any risks or negative consequences associated with past life regression? If you are with a legitimate and experienced past life regressionist, absolutely not, because they will know how to frame everything for you so that you only walk away with the lessons, and that you walk away feeling safe, feeling positive, feeling good about what you have seen. So then there's absolutely no risk. Also, what is important, if you work with an experienced past life regressionist, they will make sure you are protected throughout the whole regression. Meaning before, they will set the intention to have everything come through that is from the highest good, that is for your highest good, that is from love and light, and that will do no harm. They will make sure that only love and light comes through, and that you will only see things that are for your highest good with the intention. Then you can set a protection that protects you through 12 dimensions or more. You can do all of the things before, during, and after past life regression. So if your past life regression is experienced, there are no negative consequences or risks that you have with a past life regression. You just have to make sure you work with someone who knows what they're doing. So, how many sessions of past life regression are typically needed to see results? That is a great question. So, it totally depends on the person, like with everything in life, right? You can see absolutely mind-blowing results with one single session. That is absolutely possible. This is my soul's purpose when I saw that past life with my twin flame. And when, like one session and something can be blowing your mind. You can get rid of a phobia or a fear. You can work through a relationship issue. You can work through money issues. You can work through karmic issues. Everything can, or like there are things that can be resolved within one single session, depending on a person. However, what I love to do with people is I love taking them through like at least 3 or 4 months with hypnosis as well as past life regression, just because the more often you make this a practice, the more often you explore your past lives, the more often you explore your soul, the more deeply, again, I said this before, the more deeply you get to know yourself, the more deeply you explore who you were and who your soul is, what your soul come from, what their main characteristic is throughout all the lives. What was your first life? What was your last life? What was your most significant life? You can explore all of these things in various sessions. And the more you explore that yourself, the more you get to know yourself and the better you can manifest. Again, I'm going to say it again. And the more at ease you can feel, the more authentic you're going to be, the happier you're going to be. Like if you do this for a while, if you do hypnosis or past life regression for a while, this is literally what happens. So these are my favorite effects. And you see it with me too. Like you would not believe that, like before hypnosis, before past life regression, right? I was in very, very toxic relationships because I was toxic and because my partners were toxic, both. I was in relationships with gang members, with alcoholics, with people who were lying on and cheating on me. I had a completely estranged relationship with my mom until I used hypnosis to help me fix it. I had a horrible money mindset. I was stingy. I did not understand money as energy. Now I understand money as energy. Every single year, my income is going up. I literally, because I heal, I help my family heal because they see me and then now they're like, oh, what is Jenny doing? Or, you know, my friends and my friends of friends, they're now also looking into their healing journey, even though they believed that like 3 years ago I was completely insane, or 5 years ago when I started studying hypnosis, they were like, the fuck are you doing, Jenny? How the fuck can you do this? What is this? What is this bullshit? What is this mind control or whatever, you know, they think hypnosis is? You would not believe how much hypnosis and past life regression has helped me because I've been doing it over the years. And that's when it gets powerful. Like when you keep working on yourself, there will always be something to explore. And I don't see myself, the most important thing is I don't see myself as not complete or not whole or unhealed or whatever. I see myself as a work in progress until the rest of my life. Which sometimes it's hard, but it is what it is. It is how we as humans are made, right? And I see myself as somebody who's always learning about themselves. And so the more hypnosis and past life regression, the more you work on yourself, the better it gets. Okay, the last question that I have, and if any one of you guys has a question, please drop it in the comments. But the last question that there is here is, how do I find a reputable past life regression therapist or practitioner? Like I said, there are places from like Michael Newton, he does, from Michael Newton, yeah, and Brian Weiss as well. On their official websites, you can find Past Lives or Life Between Lives practitioners. You can just Google Past Life Regression therapist, and you can see, if they seem legitimate to you. Or you can find people like me who are on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, sharing their things. And I have shared this stuff for like the last 5 years, and you can read from my testimonials that I'm legit and that I'm the real deal and that I've helped so many clients. So really use your judgment, use your discernment, and also maybe you get recommendations from a friend. Maybe you try out somebody on YouTube that you see. There's a whole lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, it has to be a hell yes for you. That's what I say when I tell people, only work with hell yes clients. So that means for me, I only work with people who I feel like a hell yes towards. But at the same time, you as the client, you also have to work with people who you feel a hell yes for. Maybe you feel intimidated by them. Maybe you put them on a pedestal. Maybe you think something about them or have some assumptions about them, right? But it must feel in your gut. It must feel like a hell yes. That is the best tip I guess I can give, but you can literally find them anywhere. Okay, this was everything about past life regressions. I'm checking for questions. Okay, no questions for now, but thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions later, you can always just write me, send me a message or whatever. You can also go to my profile, check out the different links that I have there, because I do past life regressions as well. I do hypnosis. I help people